40 and 20.
Genesis 40, verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
So the first reference in the Bible to birthdays, you have the Egyptians celebrated birthdays. It originated amongst the pharaohs and the kings of the nations. They gave reverence to them as gods. From there, let's go to 2 Maccabees 6 and 7.
2 Maccabees 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So those three items in that scripture show us, number one, it was not lawful to observe the Most High's Sabbath days, or the Most High's high holy days, because those were the days the Israelites celebrated. Then it says, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. You could not admit your nationality. You had to follow up as a Greek, as a Gentile. Read on.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month.
So at the day of the king's birth, let's say he was born on the 12th. He celebrated the 12th of every month as his birthday. Read it again.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifice.
So they forced the Israelites to honor the king, the Greek king's birthday. They forced us to do that and honor it, because it's always been a custom amongst the nations to give praise and thanks for the birth of this king as a deity, a deity, however you pronounce it. Go ahead.
And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy.
Bacchus is what a lot of you so-called West Indians call Bacchanal today, on your Labor Day parade. Okay, from there, let's go to Matthew 14.
Matthew 14, verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod.
Who's Herod? Herod. Give the mic to Phil beside you.
He was an Idumean ruler under Antipater. He was charged to be the procurator of Judea.
He was the procurator. That's a hard word. Give me an easier word.
He was a ruler of Judea. He was a Jewish convert.
Okay, very good. Very good. Have a seat. So, let's read that again. Matthew 14.
Matthew 14, verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger.
Y'all know what a charger is? Steve, you know what a charger is? Everybody, Abiel.
Charger is a silver platter.
Silver platter, sometimes it has that covering on it, where you take it and you show your roast turkey or something, whatever it is. The mama wanted John the Baptist's head in that thing. Go ahead.
And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison.
So John the Baptist was killed on Herod's birthday. I want you to remember these things that occur on these birthdays. Okay, from there, let's go to, get me Job 3. I want y'all to pay close attention to the wording. This might not seem too easy at first, but as we follow the precept, you're going to see it. In what?
Job 3, verse 1. After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day.
After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Now, you might not understand what his day is. Let's read on.
And Job spake and said, let the day perish, let the day perish wherein I was born.
So what was Job's day that he cursed?
His birthday.
Right, the day he was born. Go ahead.
And let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Let that day be darkness.
Let that day be darkness. Go ahead.
Let not God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it.
So now, let's go to chapter 1 of Job. So we understand what his day is. It's the day wherein he was born. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
All right, Job 1.
Job 1 verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters.
7 sons, 3 daughters. Go ahead.
His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that his name was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day.
Y'all see that? They feasted everyone his day. What do we read in chapter 3, verse 1 to 3? Anybody remember? You got the mic?
Job said, cursed it. Job 3 verse 1. It says, after this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And verse 3 says, let the day perish wherein I was born.
Right, so his day is the day he was born. So here in Job 1 and verse 4 again.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day.
So what were they feasting about, Gedaliah?
Their birth.
Right, their birth. That's what they were celebrating. Go ahead.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. But Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned.
That my sons have sinned. Go ahead.
And cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually.
So now, because sometimes you might ask yourself, why did the Most High kill Job's sons? They was killed when you read chapters on. Was it chapter 2? Killed all of them. Was it chapter 1? Where was it?
Right here, verse chapter 1. See?
Is it right there?
Yes, in verse
16? Is that 16?
19.
Is it 19? Where the boys got killed?
19.
Read verse 19.
18 and 19.
Yeah, read it.
Verse 18. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house.
So why were they in their eldest brother's house? Joel.
In his brother's house doing the same thing, celebrating the brother's birthday.
Right, exactly. Doing the same thing. Celebrating the day wherein they were born. Go ahead.
And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So now, from there, let's go to this book here. No, let's go to 2 Babylons. Pull that up for me. 2 Babylons. Who got the mic? I want somebody to read that middle part. This is from the 2 Babylons written by Alexander Hislop, a historian. Page 93, yes, right there.
That part highlighted, right?
Yeah, I'll read the whole paragraph.
Okay. From Eo, an infant, in Scotland, at least in the lowlands, and Yule cakes are also called Nor cakes. Now, in the Chaldean, Nor signifies birth. Therefore, Nor cakes are birth cakes. The Scandinavian goddess, called Norns, who appointed children their destinies at their birth, eventually derived their name from the cognate Chaldean word Nor, a child.
So now read the next part. Make it a little smaller, Bezalel, so we can read the next paragraph.
Far and wide, in the realms of paganism.
Far and wide in the realms of paganism.
Was this birthday observed? This festival has been commonly believed to have had only an astronomical character, referring simply to the completion of the sun's yearly course.
What I want y'all to see is that birthdays have an astronomical character. That's why in your birthday they give you what? A zodiac. Oh, what sign are you? I'm Sagittarius. I'm Capricorn. All that astronomical characters, all that goes back to paganism. Witchcraft. That's all I wanted. To show you that these nerd cakes, as they call them, were birth cakes. That's what they go, let's get a birthday cake. Okay? So now, let's go to this book here. We're going to go to Flavius Josephus. We're going to go to, this is the complete works of Josephus. Anybody know about Josephus? Who can tell me? Isaac.
Not sure.
Okay, Ramaya.
Oh, sorry. He was a Jewish historian.
He was a Jewish historian? Start again. Huh?
He was an Israelite historian.
Right. He was an Israelite historian that what? There's more to it. Jan.
He was a slave. They took him after 70 AD. He was a slave. They took him after 70 AD.
He was a slave to who?
Titus and Vespasian.
He was a slave to Titus and Vespasian. He lived during the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. In this book, The Complete Works of Josephus, in this book, they have it broken down into names of books. In the book of Josephus, it falls under War of the Jews, chapter 3, book 7. I know it's a lot. This is a huge book. War of the Jews, chapter 3 of book 7. I'm on page 590 in this version. Okay, you may have different, what's the word?
Different.
Not versions.
Volumes.
Additions.
Editions, that's the word, editions. Okay. So, War of the Jews, book 7, chapter 3. Paragraph 1. It says, while Titus, which is Titus the Roman demon that helped sack Jerusalem, while Titus was at Caesarea, he solemnized the birthday of his brother Domitian after a splendid manner, and inflicted a great deal of the punishment intended for the Jews in honor of him meaning his brother. So they punished us on the birthday of Domitian. For the number of those that were now slain in fighting with the beasts. I'm going to read that part again. For the number of those that were now slain in fighting with the beasts, what happened? Who can tell me? Yeah.
Under Domitian, the Israelites were forced to become gladiators.
They made us gladiators. They made us fight lions and tigers. They put, like in the movie, what's the name of that?
Gladiator.
Thank you, Gladiator. They show you a bit of that right there. Okay? For the number of those that were now slain in fighting with the beasts and were burnt and fought with one another, because they had to fight each other, exceeded 2,500. Yet did all this seem to the Romans. Yet did all this seem to the Romans when they were thus destroying 10,000 several ways to be a punishment beneath their deserts. So it's showing you that on their birthdays, they celebrated by us being killed and killing one another. All right? So now from there, let's go to page 632. Okay, now this chapter is called Flavius Josephus against Apion, A-P-I-O-N, book 2.
Page 632.
Yes, in this edition. It may be a different, if you have a different edition, his is different.
Mine's different. It's on page 9 something.
Okay. Book 2, Flavius Josephus against Apion. Book 2, what chapter is this? Let me look there with me. This is book 2. It just says book 2 is paragraph 26. It says, nay, indeed, the Lord does not permit us to make festivals at the births of our children. I'm going to read that again. Nay, indeed, the Lord does not permit us to make festivals at the births of our children, and thereby afford occasion of drinking to excess. But it ordains that the very beginning of our education should be immediately directed to sobriety. It also commands us to bring those children up in learning and to exercise them in the laws and make them acquainted with the acts of their predecessors, meaning their forefathers, in order to their imitation of them. Let me read that part again. It also commands us to bring those children up in learning and to exercise them in the laws and to make them acquainted with the acts of their predecessors in order to their imitation of them. Meaning our children are to learn about their foreparents and imitate their foreparents. Most of you women, I'm going to get on you women now, you raise our children up. I know you don't know, like many of us didn't know, but I'm getting on you. Just bear with it. You raise the children up to be like Mike. Look at Michael Jordan. Don't you want to be like him? No. Oh, it's just for the children. Let's have a cake. And some of you husbands, you know, some of your wives, who's married in here? Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. You know, some of you, as quiet as it's kept, oh, let's just have it for the children. That's witchcraft. That's evil, according to the scriptures. I'm going to read on. It also commands to bring those children up in learning, exercise them in the laws, make them acquainted with the acts of the predecessors in order to their imitation of them, and that they may be nourished up in the laws from their infancy, and might neither transgress them, nor yet have any pretense for the ignorance of them. So, that's in the complete works of Josephus. So, yes.
Let me ask a question here. Brother Joel, so that means that if our family in the world having a birthday party, should we entertain it? Since we're not the one who's doing it.
Mike.
So give me understanding on that, so we don't catch no simple spirit up in here.
The scripture says specifically, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So no.
All right. So we don't caught up in some foolish spirit out here, because you know that they're having it over there. You say that's not me. I can go over there and entertain it.
Y'all, sorry, you want to bring something up?
Yeah. We read in the Josephus, the first part of what we read, and there was a word that I heard, and I wanted to touch that word again. I'm just going to repeat what we read, and then I'm going to pull the word out. So while Titus was at Caesarea, he solemnized the birthday of his brother. That word there, what does that word mean? Joshua.
They formalized it. He made it ceremonial. It wasn't just like whatever. It was formal customs behind it now.
Right. And in addition to that, it was serious business. That's what the word means. It's serious, grave.
Hey, I have the definition from the dictionary, and it says exactly what you're saying. It says, to observe or perform with dignity or gravity, to make solemn and grave, perform with proper ceremonies.
So that's the reason why you see it carried all the way up to the day. Our people hold it like it's something holy. They hold it like it's something serious. If they don't do it, they feel like they're messing up on some spiritual level. But it all came back from that evil that we read. And what did they do on that day? Except put punishments on us.
Right. So I hope all y'all see. Let's get 2 Corinthians 6:17.
2 Corinthians 6, verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
So as a nation, we got to come out from the customs, the religions, the politics, the fashions of America on all levels. It's going to go more and more. So we got to suck it up and do what this Bible says. Because the Most High is going to open us up to more understanding. Like David said in Psalms 119, give me that in Psalms 119 about open mine eyes that I may behold wondrous things. That one. Read on like done.
And will be a father unto you, And ye shall be my sons and daughters.
And ye shall be my sons and daughters. Then and only then will he accept us. We got to touch not the uncleanness here in this country and wherever country we dwell in. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord Almighty.
All right, what you got, y'all, son?
Yeah, this is the book of Psalms 119 and verse 18. Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law.
So, because you can read something over and over, but it'll be that one particular day, talking with a brother, and most I go, pop, now you see it. What you didn't see before. Oh, shoot. Okay, so now, those of you who was planning a birthday party, I don't care if you put money on a place. You better cut it out. You better stop it. I don't care if you lose your deposit. God don't care if you lose your deposit.
You might go in there and the whole building cave in on you.
Exactly. That's right. You be like Job's son. The whole house falling on you.